So, I have an essay. It's mostly about racism. Um, I'm going to start off with the theory of polygenesis. It's defined as multiple separate creations for each race as distinct species. Basically, all of the ethnicities that encompass humanity are were created separately, and there's a lot of bad science going on in the 19th and 20th centuries. Um, a lot of sexism, racism. I don't know who these scientist guys were, but they certainly weren't doing science right by any means. And back then, uh, the concept of polygenesis was very popular. So, in good creationist fashion, white people evolved from the biblical Adam and Eve, which provided justification for white supremacy because, well, the other less evolved races were probably less intelligent, less sentient, less human. If it wasn't for the prevalence of Christianity throughout the last 3,000 years of human history, would Caucasians have enforced such authoritarian brutality on the world? Maybe not, considering the fact that the Christian doctrine is totalitarian in nature and highly unethical to modern sensibilities. The infancy, wrong paragraph, and I'm kind of going to segue into something else. The popularization of photography during the height of the American lynching era is a stark reminder of how irrational prejudices come to fruition through groundless ideologies. Nationalism and tribalism take a leading role in the extermination of innocent people. The business of selling lynching photographs, even the sale of prized body parts from the victims, validated white superiority for the common folk because there was a supposed justice in the act of killing black men for the protection of upper-class white women. Considering the South's original position on slavery, it's no surprise that whites felt desperate to maintain white economic and social privilege after the Civil War. The modern, politically incorrect teabagging movement is a facade for something that dates back to America's lynch-happy South: racism. It's oddly obvious that this independent and leaderless picketing movement happened to come after the travesty of the Bush administration. That once the country votes in a man of color, the accusations of communism and socialism, the conflation of social justice with Nazism, the racial epithets, the rants against healthcare reform, makes me wonder, who is behind the madness? And my answer are politicians bought by corporations, conservative talking heads and certain religious leaders that spread lies to get people to act against their own self-interest and deceive them into believing their white American Christian privilege is at stake. Thankfully, our country now has legislation in place that prohibits violent retributions. It's just it's just unfortunate that racist attitudes die hard and have such negative repercussions on the whole.